Hello, and welcome back to the first episode of Season 2 of the Play Action Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Haws. I know it's weird to hear my voice in the intro. It's usually Brandon's, but unfortunately, he's graduated. He is no longer with us. But I'm still here. That's all that matters. But with that, I've got a great new co-host, Tyler Houston.
What up, guys? Happy to be here.
How's it going, dude? I know you've been excited, waiting for this moment for a while now, and you're finally here. First ever episode. How you feeling, man? You excited?
I'm excited, man. Ready for this year to go on.
This is going to be awesome. I'm so excited. A whole new semester of the Play Action Podcast. And this is perfect timing because we are just at the start of week 1 of the NFL season. Great first episode for us. We're going to just kind of preview, some of the best games that we think are going to be played week 1, right? Like we got Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. We got the Bears, of course. We'll be talking about the Bears every week.
And Monday Night Football with the Broncos, Seahawks.
Monday Night Football. This week is really considered to be revenge week for a lot of these players. We got a lot of players like Russell Wilson, the Monday Night Football game you just talked about.
Baker Mayfield.
You got Baker Mayfield in the Panthers and Browns game. You got Von Miller in the Bills-Rams game. So this is considered to be revenge week. It's going to be a great week. I think there's going to be a lot of good games played. But we picked out 5 games that we think are going to be the most competitive or kind of just have the best stories to go with them. So with that said, we're going to just jump right into it. Start with Thursday Night Football. We got the Bills versus the Rams. Tyler, how about you give us your score prediction for this game first? We'll go into score predictions, and then we'll kind of go into what to expect from each team and what each team needs to do to win. Stuff along those lines. But yeah, Tyler, let's hear your score prediction. I'm interested.
My score prediction for this game is going to be a very close one. It's going to come down probably to the fourth quarter.
Yes,
my score is 34-27 Rams.
Ooh, you got the Rams winning. All right. I got 38-31 Bills. I think the Bills are, kind of the best offense here. Rams defense kind of got worse. The run defense isn't as good with Sebastian Joseph Day going to the Chargers. People really look at not Von Miller. Von Miller's gone. So actually, no, there is that too. That's big for the pass rush. And then what I think was probably their worst move was adding Bobby Wagner. This dude is still considered to be like a top linebacker. He isn't. His athleticism is really what he depended on to be good.
He's up there in age for sure.
He's way up there in age. He just doesn't have that anymore. So it makes me nervous to see how well he plays. But yeah, man. I mean, what are you thinking?
For the Rams, it's going to be their secondary. Their secondary is going to have to carry this team well for this game. Bills, it's a very high-powered offense. You got Josh Allen, who is considered going into the year, for a lot of people, the MVP candidate.
Yup, definitely. I mean, that secondary did take a hit. Darius Williams, who was a great number 2 corner for them, is gone. Jordan Fuller, you still got Taylor Rapp. Obviously, Ramsey, I didn't even think I'd really have to mention him. Probably the best corner in football last year. But I just, like you just said, I mean, Josh Allen I think might be the best quarterback in football after the season's done.
Top 3 no matter what.
He's top 3 right now. I think he'll pass both Rodgers and Mahomes for the season alone. One of my big things for this Bills team, Aaron Donald, you got to neutralize him. That the interior of this offensive line for the Bills is kind of new, right? You got a lot of good players on this team. Offensive line looks solid, and I think they just need to capitalize on, getting double teams on Aaron Donald. He's not a guy you can let go free. He's probably the best defender in football.
He can play inside and he can play on the edge, too.
Yep, he's going to be all over the field. You got to stop him wherever possible. And I think on defense, they really need to, their corners need to step up. I'm sure a lot of people know this, but Tre'Davious White's not playing this game. So
that's a huge factor for the Rams. If you're the Rams, you need to attack your passing game. You don't have one of the Bills' top defensive players, and even one of the better cornerbacks in the league. You need to attack the passing game without White being there.
I completely agree. I mean, he's a top 5 corner when he's healthy. He wasn't healthy most of last year. Big issue. But with that being said, the Bills' corners are going to have to step up, right? You got Teron Johnson in the slot, one of the better slot corners in the league. I don't expect any issues from him. You got Kaiir Elam, 23rd overall pick for the Bills out of Florida. He's going to be the number 1 boundary corner this week. He's been learning from Tre'Davious White, even if he hasn't been playing. You got a great mentor there. We got to see how good he's played. The Bills seem to love him. He seems to know, the playbook inside and out. He seems to be a very smart player. And then you got a guy like Dane Jackson, who is their other outside corner starter. This is his first time ever starting. He's, I believe, second or third year player. I can't remember exactly. But, these corners just got to prove themselves and prove that they're willing or should be the starters while Tre'Davious White's out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a back and forth game. Both defenses seem well, but I think this is going to come down to offensive play.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we both got higher scoring games, and that's for a good reason. These offenses are crazy. I mean, obviously we just talked about the Bills for a good amount, but with the Rams, I mean, you got Cooper Kupp coming off of a Triple Crown season.
Allen Robinson, who some people think he might not be as good as he was, especially with a very down year with the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, that was the worst year of his career. People don't remember that he used to be he was amazing for Jacksonville. Outside of the 1 year where he suffered a season-ending injury. But the Rams seem to be very happy with him. He's my player to watch for the Rams, actually, because we just kind of went over. Tre'Davious White's out, right? That passing offense is going to go crazy. You got two deep elite safeties in Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer for the Bills, and all the focus is going to be on Cooper Kupp. That's to be expected. All the focus will be on him. Van Jefferson, who's their receiver 3, won't be playing this game. I don't believe they're expecting him not to play. I don't expect him to. So Allen Robinson is going to have to step up and show that he is a good talent overall.
My guy to watch after that game for the Rams is going to be Cam Akers. Last year, he had a very bad injury. Was supposed to keep him out for the rest of the year. Somehow he came back in the playoffs. I'm very curious to see how the Rams are going to use him. Plus, with Darrell Henderson as a backup. Are they going to use a 2 running back set, or are they just going to go back and forth with them? I think this will be a game we will be able to tell what their plan is with Cam Akers for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Akers was a guy who was very highly touted out of college, right? One of the better college running backs, and he got drafted pretty early. He was expected to be used quite a bit before he got injured in, I believe, July? The offseason right before 2021. And he was actually able to come back during the playoffs, and he did not play well. No. He was bad. So I think that explosiveness that he used to bring might be gone. I shouldn't say gone, but it won't be there as much as it used to be.
It won't be the same.
But I mean, that was kind of my point for this Rams offense is I think they need to, get a run game going, right? You got a pass offense, and everyone and their mother knows that they have a good pass offense going into this season, but that run game needs to step up, and guys like Darrell Henderson, guys like Cam Akers, these guys really need to get going. Their best running back last year was probably Sony Michel.
Yeah, and he's not even there anymore.
He's on the Chargers now, right? He's bounced off 2 different teams since the end of the Rams season. So, yeah, I mean, I think doing that, stopping the passing attack for the Rams as well. I mean, like we just talked about, Bills probably have the most explosive offense right now. But with Brian Daboll gone, who knows how good that offense is going to be. Who knows how much of an impact he really had on this team. But a lot of great weapons, great team on both sides. I'm giving it to the Bills, though.
I get the Rams, man. It's going to come down, I think, could be a final drive situation possibly.
I could see it, a final go-ahead field goal or go-ahead touchdown. I think it'll be a closer game. I don't see a blowout happening. But, yeah, give me the Bills. You got the Rams. And with that, we'll move on to the 49ers and Bears. Obviously you're a Bears fan.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you got? What do you got on the score here?
My score for this game, unfortunately, I don't have the Bears winning. I got the 49ers winning this game 21-17. I know a lot of Bears fans actually feel like we have a great chance to win this game. I don't see the problem with us possibly winning this game. This game, I think, will be closer, especially with Trey Lance being named the official starting quarterback for the 49ers. Even though Jimmy Garoppolo is the backup right now for the 49ers, I think Trey Lance will be able to take over this year and will do well. But at the same time, too, this is going to be his first time being the official starting quarterback. I think there's going to be a lot of things he's going to have to work on. For Trey Lance, I think the one thing he's going to have to use the most this game is his legs. I don't feel like he's going to be that poised in the pocket. I think he's going to want to try and roll out a lot. If you're the Bears, though, you got to keep him in the pocket. I don't feel like he's going to be the best pocket quarterback in this game. He's going to want to try and roll out, play action plays.
Yeah, I do. Okay, both these guys are going into their second years. Both these starting quarterbacks, I should say. And Fields definitely has the edge. He started all last year. Lance, I believe, had 2 or 3.
2, I think.
I think it was 2 fully starting games, and he also got playing time in a few others as well. But I think they need, going into, saying Lance might not want to stay in the pocket as long as he should, wanting to run a lot more than you probably should be doing on some plays. They need to establish a rhythm on offense, right? I think you need to get all your guys involved. You got a good run game in Elijah Mitchell. You got Jeff Wilson, obviously Trey Lance himself. So you shouldn't have to focus on running as much. You got guys like Deebo Samuel, right? 1,400 receiving yards last year, almost 400 yards out of the backfield as a runner as well. I don't think he'll be used that way anymore, so we shouldn't expect that. Brandon Aiyuk, who was out of the game plan for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and still almost put up 1,000 yards receiving. This dude is poised for a breakout. And then you got other guys, on the kind of in the depth charts, like Danny Gray, who's a third-round rookie, Juwan Jennings, Ray McLeod as well, and then obviously Kittle, right? You can't talk about the 49ers offense without getting into Kittle. This dude hopefully can stay fully healthy, and this is just an elite passing attack, and I think Trey Lance can hopefully capitalize on it. He is my player to watch for the 49ers because, like you said, it's his first ever start. He needs this.
My guy actually is for the 49ers is going to be Brandon Aiyuk. Coming out of training camp in preseason, it seems like Aiyuk is Lance's favorite target. Even though Deebo and Kittle are one of their best receiving options, I think Aiyuk will be used a lot more, especially with Lance wanting to roll out a lot more. Jimmy Garoppolo just stood there in the pocket and waited for something. I think Aiyuk will be someone who will be running some short routes for Trey Lance to feel comfortable. Eventually, when he gets in a rhythm, maybe he'll start looking for Kittle or Deebo down the field more.
I like that a lot. I like that you chose Brandon Aiyuk because I just love this dude. I've loved this dude ever since he came out of college, and I think he's such a good talent. He's such a good player that hasn't been used. I don't think probably as good as he should have been, and I think this is his year. This is his year to succeed. You got a mobile quarterback. Kyle Shanahan loves mobile quarterbacks. This offense is truly built to what Shanahan wants. Right? You got the athletic freaks in Kittle, Deebo Samuel. Got a great depth at running back and a mobile quarterback, and you got your kind of do everything else type of receiver in Brandon Aiyuk. You got the yards after catch guy in Deebo, you got the blocking and the contested catch in Kittle, and now you get everything else in the route running and the contested catch ability in Brandon Aiyuk. So the big thing here in this game is how well the Bears defense can keep up. Right, this is always considered to be the better, side of the ball for the Bears the past, however long. Defense is always the Bears' strong suit.
Especially with the Bears never having a quarterback who can throw for over 4,000 yards. Only team in NFL history who has never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards.
Which is crazy considering that they're probably they're the first ever NFL franchise, and they're the only team who's never had that before. So that is kind of shocking to me. It was shocking when I first heard about it. It makes sense now. Their best quarterback ever has probably been Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
It will be Fields. I really do think it's going to be Fields.
Fields just has looked good, especially this preseason, man. At times he's made a couple mistakes, but also at times he's being used more in the way he should be with Luke Getsy as the offensive coordinator than last year. Last year, Matt Nagy used him as a pocket passer. You need to let him get out more. He excelled in play action last year. They did it maybe only a couple times a game. But also, too, I know you love hot takes, and I'm going to put one out here right now.
Yeah.
Brandon Aiyuk will have the most receiving yards for the 49ers this year.
This whole year?
year.
That's crazy.
I really think he's going to be used more possibly than Deebo Samuel at times.
Okay.
I know it's very bold, and I know it is.
No,
but I think there's an opportunity for Aiyuk to excel this year.
I am a big supporter of, when it comes to receiver talent specifically on teams, I am a big supporter of chemistry with the quarterback over general talent. Deebo is probably the more talented receiver compared to Brandon Aiyuk, but if the chemistry is stronger between Lance and Aiyuk than it is Lance and Samuel, then I don't see how that could be crazy to say. But we talked a lot about the 49ers now. Let's go on to the Bears a little bit. This is your team. Obviously, this is a lot of the listeners' teams, right? Yeah. This is the team. And this offense, man. This offense is really sketchy. You got Niners. Okay, so from what I'm looking at on this depth chart here, you got 9 receivers on the roster, 3 of them being on IR right now. Outside of Mooney, you don't have much proof. I mean, Pringle's a solid receiver too, I think. But I just think all the receiver depth, right? They need to go through the depth charts and get everyone possible involved, right? I think even guys like Amir Smith-Marset, who you guys just signed
from the
Vikings, that dude I actually thought was pretty solid coming out of college.
He played well last year. Even it was against the Bears, but the few opportunities Marset had, he did very well, I think.
Yup. And I expect that to happen in this Bears game. I think, just attacking the 49ers safeties, and specifically, I don't know how good Jimmy Ward's going to be. They don't got much else outside of him at safeties, with Jaquiski Tartt being gone. And he's, I don't even know if he's on a team right now. I think he's with, I'm pretty sure he got cut from Philly and hasn't signed anywhere since. So, I just think they need to get everyone possible contributing in this offense. I could see him going 2-3 running back deep, all 6 receivers, multiple tight ends. I can see him bringing out everybody, trying out a ton of different packages, and just seeing what works best.
The only thing that I don't think will change is the offensive line. There's many questions right now going into this week. Lucas Patrick, our center, he's been dealing with injury. Is he going to start at center? Is he going to start at guard? Also, this offensive line for the past few years has not been good.
No.
We struggle a lot with that. And that's where David Montgomery, to some people think David Montgomery is a top 10 running back. But if you don't have a solid offensive line to run the ball, how can you get any running attack? The defenses are going to realize all you're going to do is want to pass the ball more if you can't get a good run game going.
Yep. I mean, that's why you can't have a one-dimensional offense. That's never going to work, especially with a smart coach that you're playing against and a very good defense. This 49ers defense might be one of the best.
When they're healthy, they are probably top 5, I think.
You got a top 3 edge rusher in Nick Bosa, a top 3 linebacker in Fred Warner. I mean, you've got bunch of good. Eric Armstead's really good, coming off both the edge and the interior if he needs to. Dre Greenlaw's another great young linebacker. Travarius Ward is a great corner. I mean, you got a lot of good players on this 49ers defense. But I want to throw this out there real quick before we move on to the next game. My player to watch for Chicago is going to be Jaquan Brisker. There was a lot of concern about whether or not he was going to play week 1 just due to his hand surgery. I believe it was on his thumb, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, thumb injury.
But about a week and a half ago, he started practicing again, and he's expected to play. And I can see this dude making a lot of plays.
I'm excited for this guy, man. I was so happy when the Bears drafted him. Yes, I wanted the Bears to draft a receiver, but after hearing more about Jaquan Brisker, man, does he look like a safety the Bears would love.
Yeah, I see a lot of Bears beat writers comparing him to the next Charles Tillman for you guys, and that's saying something because Charles Tillman was one of the best defenders you guys have had this century. So
for sure.
I haven't given my score prediction yet, but I'm going to go 24-10 San Francisco. I think this is probably an experimental game for your guys' offense specifically, which is why I don't think they're going to be high scoring. They're going to be trying out a ton of different things, and then just whatever works is what they'll move with going forward.
I could completely understand that.
But with that, we both got 49ers for that game. Let's move on to the Browns versus Panthers. Now, on the surface, this doesn't look like you'd think, why are you guys talking about this game? This game is not going to be that great. This is Baker's game, man. Baker got the week 1 start with Carolina, and he's playing against Cleveland in Carolina, though. I think it's going to be a really close one. I got 21-20 Panthers.
I actually got 30-20 Panthers.
All right. If you think it's a lot, why do you think it's going to be more lopsided? I'm curious.
So CMC. I think CMC is a top 3 running back when he is healthy.
Easily.
He can run, and he can catch the ball very well. Pretty sure 2-3 years ago, didn't he go for 1,000?
Oh, yeah. Yep, 2019.
You have a CMC who's fully healthy, plus with DJ Moore, who can have a breakout year, Robbie Anderson, who is also who is good, Terrence Marshall, who is going to his second year. These guys can excel with Baker Mayfield. Last year, the Panthers had 3 different quarterbacks? Cam Newton, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker.
Yep.
That offense didn't do well, especially with CMC not being there. I think Baker will be the energy the Panthers need to excel this year. I think they will do much better than people are thinking. And also, at the same time, the Browns don't really have a quarterback right now. They got Jacoby Brissett, who will be their starting quarterback because some people may not know Deshaun Watson is with the Browns, but he is suspended for 11 games.
Yeah.
So I think the Browns' offense is going to struggle. They're going to carry the ball with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb a lot, but eventually the Panthers probably go into this game focal point is to stop the run. After they stop the run, you're going to have to worry about the passing game, and I don't think there is going to be much passing game.
I completely agree. I think the Browns' main the main part of their offense they need to focus on is quarterback play, right? Quarterback is where the offense starts. Obviously, you got Jacoby Brissett, who I have deemed as the worst starter in the league right now.
I don't think that's even a question anymore.
He's just not good, right? We've seen him start with Indy a few years ago. He was bad with Indy. He was a backup. He was a third string quarterback for New England at one point early on in his career. So I don't know, man. If we can see at least like average quarterback play, I think that could expand that offense for Cleveland quite a bit. But on that Browns defense is solid. I think there's a lot of you need these guys to develop. Like you got Myles Garrett, second best edge rusher in football. Denzel Ward, probably a top 10 corner in football, right? You got those guys who had set themselves, established themselves as top players at their position, above the rest of this defense, pretty much. But you got some question marks here and there about guys you want to develop. My player to watch for them is going to be Jermai Owusu-Koramoah. He's second-year linebacker at Notre Dame. He was a projected first-round pick, but fell due to medical conditions, which right after the draft were deemed to be non-concerning. Had a great rookie year. And I think he's going to develop into probably, I could really see a top 15 linebacker out of him this year. And he's going to be a big part of stopping McCaffrey. Like you said, McCaffrey's a top 3 running back when he's fully healthy, and he's going to be effective in both the pass and the rushing attack. So getting good linebacker play is really what's going to stop him more than anything. And I think JOK is going to be a big part of that.
I can agree with that. Last year he showed some flashes for sure. Very developmental player. He can perform well. He's proved it at times. Times he can pass the rusher if he had to. He can stop the run, or he could even play in pass coverage.
Did you just say pass the rusher? Rush the passer.
Yeah, sorry, I meant rush the
passer.
All right. Yeah, I got ahead of myself there. But he could do many things. Mm-hmm. I don't see why he wouldn't be a factor for this game. But also too, for the Browns, they're gonna have to rely on their defense because their offense isn't gonna be able to do much after the run game. This is for Baker. Baker has gone out with a lot of quotes he has said about the Browns.
Yeah.
If Baker loses this game, I think he's going to get clowned a lot by NFL.
He got clowned on. He got clowned on a lot last year, all of last year, because he just wasn't playing good. I've never seen him as a great quarterback. I completely understand giving him, cutting him some slack due to the injuries he had throughout the entire season. I get that made him worse. I think he will be better than he was last year. I still don't see him as that great of a quarterback. He's not a quarterback who is great at anything. He's more of a jack of all trades who's he can do everything you need him to do, but he isn't a guy who is he's not an elite scrambler. Doesn't have elite accuracy, doesn't have elite poise in the pocket, right?
I'd say he's average at best. I think.
Yeah, he's like your middle of the pack average quarterback when he's fully healthy. And that is someone who can, keep a good offense going. This is the best quarterback that DJ Moore's ever played with. And this is a dude who I believe has had 3, back-to-back 1,200-plus yard receiving seasons. The only receiver in the league to do so right now. And he had, like you said, Cam Newton. Kyle Allen started at one point. Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker. Guys who were none of them are starters now.
No.
None of them. So, these, getting a quarterback upgrade is really going to make him good. But my player to watch for Carolina, and people won't like this because it's boring, but I got Akers Ekwonu. 6th overall pick this past year out of NC State. They're left tackle of the future. Pass protection has been by far their biggest issue. I understand quarterback play has been bad, but even when it's average, the line cannot protect. You got Taylor Mona as right tackle. He's solid. You have nothing else. You just signed Austin Corbett, I believe, from
Rams.
The Rams, that's right, thank you. To play on the inside, and now you drafted Akers Ekwonu to play left tackle. I understand people aren't going to watch this game for a left tackle. Completely get that. But if you're watching the game, just keep eyes on him. I think he's going to be really good, and he's going to be probably the sole reason that Myles Garrett doesn't do much. If he leaves this game with a poor stat line, Akers Ekwonu is going to be the reason for it. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to have a big impact this game. Very under the radar, great game.
Yeah, that is something to watch. A rookie versus a top edge rusher out of Myles Garrett. How much will Myles Garrett affect Baker, especially on his blind side?
Oh, definitely he will. No, he's going to be the biggest impact. But, I got it being a close game. You've got it being kind of a farther game for the Panthers, and I can really see that. I just kind of took into account that it's going to be Baker's first game with the team, which is why I thought of it being a lower scoring game. I mean, you got him scoring 9 more points than I do. It's not much, but we both got the Panthers in this one. So let's move on to Sunday Night Football. This is a repeat from the first game of last season, Bucs versus Cowboys. I got the Bucs winning. I do think it'll be close, though. I do think it's going to be
it close as well.
I got 34-28.
I got 27-24 Buccaneers.
All right. I think this is going to be a good game. People are really underrating the Cowboys now. It's gone to a point where people were overrating them, and then people started dialing down, and I was like, this is a good, probably wild card team, probably 5th seed in the NFC. And then people were like, oh, they might not make the playoffs. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
That defense is the Cowboys' defense is too good. Plus, also at the same time too, yes, I know you lost Amari Cooper for the Cowboys, but the Cowboys still last year had one of the best offensive teams in the league. Same with the Buccaneers last year.
Yep. I mean, the defense doesn't. It's crazy because the defense does not look good on paper for Dallas.
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't. But they're with. Why am I blanking on his name?
Defense.
Yeah.
Diggs?
No, the defensive coordinator. Who?
Dan Quinn? No.
Yes. Yeah. Dan Quinn. Yeah, Dan Quinn. Oh my God. Thank you. Yeah, Dan Quinn knows how to scheme a defense. Micah Parsons, unanimous Defensive Rookie of the Year, for good reason. I think he's going to probably have an even bigger role this year. Trayvon Diggs has been really working on staying patient and not trying to just go after the ball right away. So he won't have the interception numbers he did last year. But I think he will be a lot better in coverage, and he might solidify himself as a top 15, even top 10 corner this year.
That's what he needs to do, especially last year. Last year, people have known him for 2 things. He was a ball hawk for sure. Had tons of interceptions last year. But also another problem was he allowed way too many yards. He only went for the ball and wasn't being conservative about everything. Then at times, you want a corner who can be a ball hawk, get you interception. But at the same time, too, you don't want a corner who you're taking a chance on a one-on-one ball. It's going to be an interception or a 50-yard touchdown.
I look at the prime example of the most balanced corner is probably J.C. Jackson in my eyes. I believe he had 5 or 6 picks this year while also being very good in locking up receivers at the same time and playing conservative when he needed to. So there's a great balance. There's a balance that you can find. You want a guy who can turn over the ball, which you will get in Trayvon Diggs, but you also want someone who can play conservative and just make sure no catches are allowed. And Trayvon Diggs has really worked on that, and I think he will end up succeeding, right? I think it will be very solid. I think he will be a better corner than he was last year. But I think and that goes right into what I think their defense needs to do, and that's stop the passing attack. I mean, this is a team for the Bucs that go really deep in the receiving core. You got obviously Evan. You got Mike Evans, great receiver. Chris Godwin, who's coming back from injury. Russell Gage is expected to play Week 1. Julio, Scotty Miller, you got a lot of guys here who are going to make big impacts. Leonard Fournette's even a good weapon in the passing game. So that's 6 or 7 guys that you can expect to be receiving threats for this team. And Tom Brady loves to spread the ball. He's been doing that his entire career. He's never had a team where he's had a bunch of an elite receiving core outside when he had Randy Moss.
For sure.
Right. So I'm expecting a lot of kind of a spread offense, getting a bunch of guys involved. So the Cowboys just need to attack, right? They need to attack, get pressure on Brady, give him less time to throw.
Putting pressure on the Bucs will be key, especially because the Buccaneers' offensive line has gotten worse. You lost Ali Marpet, and you just lost Ryan Jensen to an injury.
On top of that, to be fair, though, they did add Shaq Mason.
They did.
Who was a top 5 guard. And got him for a 5th-round pick. I don't know what New England was doing.
New England this offseason did many questionable things.
Yeah. We won't. That was bad. They were not good. But this is I do think this is gonna be a close game though.
And Tom Brady's also playing without probably his favorite receiver in his history, Rob Gronkowski. You do not really have a solidified tight end one. You got Cameron Brate and Kyle Rudolph, who are average at best, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know if either of them can really be a tight end 1 anymore. You got Cade Otton, who they drafted I believe he was the first pick of the 4th round last year, who he's a guy I liked coming out of college, right? He came out of Washington, and I think he will end up making a bigger role for himself later on. But they've got so many weapons to throw to. Cowboys just have to stop him. My player to watch for Dallas, I mean, we just talked about him, so I'll briefly go through it. It's Trayvon Diggs, right? You just got to stay patient, right? Just got to stay disciplined, make plays when you can, but also don't give up the big play. If you know you got safety help behind you, then you can go after a pick. But if you know it's a one-on-one coverage, you got no one to help you, just break up the pass. You don't need to get the ball. You need to stop them from getting the ball.
Tom Brady is a guy who can stay consistent. If you could throw him off a rhythm, that's what you need to do.
That's
Try to
big.
Going for a pick every time instead of just guaranteeing a pass breakup. I know in a way you want to turn the ball over, but also against one of the top quarterbacks in the league out of Tom Brady, you want to break him out of a rhythm. Just knock the ball away. When he's out of a rhythm, then start going for picks. But for Trayvon Diggs especially, you got to just knock the ball away.
Yep, I completely agree. And it's funny because I have the same thing going for the Bucs defense. I think you just got to neutralize Dak. Because Dak is really the one key piece of this offense right now. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb as well. Running game has been kind of going downhill year after year after year since Zeke got drafted. He's been getting worse and worse and worse. Tony Pollard's getting better and better and better, right? That offensive line is terrible for Dallas. And that's kind of the big thing is that they need to attack with their front seven. And that's why my player to watch for Tampa Bay is going to be Devin White. I know that's probably not the first name you'd think of, but he's been improving in coverage, right? That's been a big focus of his. He can stop the run easily. He's a beast at that. He's extremely fast. He just got named captain. This is his first year being a captain for this team. I'm sure that means that their teammates trust him, right? Levante David, who is another captain on this team, will be right next to him, and I think he's going to be the guy to make plays all across the field, right? So stopping guys like Dak, stopping guys like Zeke, he's going to be a big part of that.
Yeah, I think in a way there's two guys I have for Bucs, Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks. Mm-hmm. Two great run stoppers.
Yes.
Statistically, Dak Prescott really hasn't been the greatest quarterback without Amari Cooper. When Amari Cooper came to Dallas, that's when Dak broke out completely.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb has taken a big stride from his rookie year to now. So he's going to throw in the role for Amari Cooper. Jalen Tolbert, a rookie who can step up.
I love that you mentioned him because I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good on this offense.
And then Dalton Schultz last year, who statistically was one of the better tight ends last year.
Top 10 for sure.
Big red zone threat. If you get in the red zone, I think they're going to be focusing for Dalton Schultz a lot. If not, you might try and feed the ball to Zeke. Zeke instead of Tony Pollard. Zeke is the bigger running back. You're going to try and get a couple yards with them.
Zeke is playing with a big chip on his shoulder. I shouldn't say expecting, but a lot of Dallas fans at least are expecting a big year out of him. So, I think this is gonna be a close game. I think this might be a matchup we see in the playoffs later, in late December, early January. But I got the Bucs winning 34-28 again.
And I got them 27-24. It's gonna be a very good game, back and forth. It's just gonna come down to I think whose defense could play better and who could play conservative.
Yep. Now for the last game, we got Monday Night Football, the Russell Wilson revenge game of Week 1 in Seattle, Denver versus the Seahawks. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game, I think.
Good game to watch. Point-wise, I have it kind of being a blowout. I have not the Bucs. The Broncos winning 34-14. I mainly have a blowout just because Seahawks defense isn't the greatest. Yes, I know people think Bobby Wagner is a top linebacker in the league, but for the Seahawks, he kind of has been. But you lose that guy. You have Jordan Brooks, though, who has learned a lot from Bobby Wagner in Seattle, so he'll be a guy to watch for the defense. Mm-hmm. But also, too, the Seahawks don't really have another quarterback, just like how the Browns. The Seahawks are going into this game with Geno Smith. Personally, yeah. I would have gone with Drew Lock.
Drew Lock easily, because no, you get it. You go first.
Oh, all right. I would rather have Drew Lock here because if you're the Seahawks, you're kind of in a rebuild year. You're going to be most likely. They're not going to exactly say they're tanking, but in a way they are. But they're going to want to get a top quarterback out of like Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud in the draft. But also at the same time too, I would want to start Drew Lock here, a young quarterback who you could maybe have him be your franchise quarterback if he does well. Pete Carroll I think he's a good coach. He did very good things with Russell Wilson. And I think if you're Pete Carroll, you would want to try and see what you have in Drew Lock instead of Geno Smith he has shown whatever he can do. It's really not much.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but no, I don't think either quarterbacks early on this year would be doing much. But Drew Lock has shown in his career that he can be a real good quarterback. I think, although it's very inconsistent, I do think they should have started Lock. I agree with that.
Especially for this game, it would be fun to watch the two quarterbacks play their former teams.
Yup, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping it would have been like the ultimate revenge game for both. It's probably going to be a blowout as well. I got 31-13 Denver, so pretty similar scores there. But, I mean, the Broncos, the
Broncos are just well-rounded.
They're just the better team.
Yeah.
Right? It's a situation where they are the better team. My offensive goals for them is just, run a balanced offense. Don't let the Seahawks, they've got decent defensive players, right? You got great safety duo in Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. Love that duo there. Corners are not good.
Yeah.
Not good. You're going to have rookies who are starting in Kobe Bryant, and I'm blanking on the other. Why am I blanking on his name? Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen. Two, I believe, like fourth, fifth round picks. That'll be starting for him.
Or Sidney Jones be starting for him?
They won't be starting, but they'll get playing time. Sidney Jones is probably going to be the number one, and he's not.
He's
number
really
one.
not that good.
So they're going to attack the passing offense a lot. It's going to be awesome watching Russell Wilson throw for over 300 yards on his former team. But the Seahawks, in my notes here, I put in all caps for their defensive goals is stop Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing else you could stop.
That's it.
The Broncos running backs, too, are going to be good. Javonte Williams, and then you have Melvin Gordon as a backup. A lot of people want Javonte Williams to be the starter, but for some reason the Broncos aren't doing it. They're trying to do a two-head, what's the word?
I get it. A running back by committee situation.
And really, I think Javonte Williams needs to be the guy. Yeah, he showed great things last year. Have him be the main guy and have Melvin Gordon come in every so often, change things up. But don't go running back by committee.
I don't really think that's how they're going to play it. They did that last year. I mean, Javonte Williams is a rookie, so I completely understand why they did that. They traded up early in the second round, 35th overall pick to draft him. They're gonna play him majority. He's gonna get majority of the snaps. I think it might be like third and short situation where he gets in. But my player to watch for Denver is Courtland Sutton. Great chemistry with Russ from what it looks like, and I think he's going to be a beast. I think he could be like a top 15 receiver.
It's going to be him or Judy. Early on, we're going to have to figure out who will be Wilson's favorite target, because that's kind of throughout the years, Tyler Lockett has been like Russell Wilson's favorite target in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Yes, DK is a great receiver, but Lockett always has been Wilson's guy. Now, with Wilson being with the Broncos, I would think for the rest of his career, who will be the main guy? Will it be Sutton or Judy?
I think Sutton fits a lot of what Tyler Lockett did in Seattle, which is why I think the connection was there pretty early on. But I think, Broncos are going to dominate. But I think on both sides of the ball. Seattle, I want to just quickly mention their one player. My player for them to watch is going to be Kenneth Walker. Drafted him in the second round as running back. Chris Carson, unfortunately retired due to a bad neck injury. But I am really curious to see how they utilize the mix of Rashad Penny and Ken Walker.
Hopefully he plays. I know he's been dealing with, what was his injury, Ken Walker? Some abdomen injury.
Yeah, I think he will play a little bit.
If he plays, I'd hope he does play. I want to see some flashes out of him. He isn't going to be the starter yet, and Rashad Penny will be the starter, but I wouldn't be shocked if Ken Walker finished out the year as a starter.
Mm. So I think we got pretty much the same picks. We're going to keep track of our record scores every week. But that's going to do it for the first episode of Season 2 of the Play Action Podcast. I'm TJ Haws.
I'm Tyler Houston.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.